Hello and welcome back to the Lee Summit Town Hall podcast. I am your host, Nick Parker. And now, like always, is a great time to remind everyone that this podcast is brought to you by the good people at Budget Blinds of Lee Summit, a great local family running a great local business. They are your home for enlightened style shades. They're also that place for those smart tools. So if you want to be cool, you want to be fancy, you want to open your shades with your phone or your Alexa device or Google device or whatever your smart devices are, you can do that. We like to call them our robot shade overlords, which really they are. And if you're ready to make your home a smart home, go see our friends at Budget Blinds of Lee Summit, right in the heart of downtown. Tell them Nick sent you. All right. It's going to be a twisted show. It's going to be a fun show. It's time for one of my favorite local charity fundraiser events of the year. Pro Deo's Twisted Trivia is coming up March 21st. They're moving it. It's going to be at the new Green Street Pavilion. Do we call it a pavilion? Farmers Market building?
Yeah, the marketplace, sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And with me are two people from Pro Deo, Elaine Metcalf, the executive director, and Kent Ruehter. Welcome. Are you vice chair now of the board?
No, I refuse to take on leadership positions. So,
now wait a minute.
Member of the board of directors and the new Twisted Trivia czar.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're taking over.
Yeah, overlord. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like czar.
Yeah.
Kent is the chair, though. He did step up to be a chairperson for the building committee and has done a fine job, as we will be breaking ground on the 24th of March. So,
well, welcome, guys. Kent, is this your first appearance?
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
In 881 episodes, this is it.
I didn't have anything else to talk about previously.
Elaine, I don't know how many times she's been on. I'll just,
a few.
Anytime Elaine says, "Can I come talk?" I'm yes, Elaine.
I think everybody has that response.
Does anybody say no to Elaine? Ever?
Oh yes, just look. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this job probably, because we'd be fully funded and we'd have all the volunteers we need. And yes, absolutely.
Well, before we get to talking about like the event and what it is, this is a raising money event. This is to support one of our awesome local nonprofits, Pro Deo Youth Center. What is this particular event, Twisted Trivia? What is it raising money for?
So it is going strictly for our operating funds. In other words, it's going to go right into services that provide a safe place for teens to hang out on 5 days a week. It's totally for operations, for things like tickets to events. If those aren't donated, we got a budget for taking the kids to a Royals game or swimming or ice skating or whatever. And so those kind of first time activities, you would be surprised how many kids have never gotten to be in a kayak or never gotten to ice skate. And so Pro Deo's providing those. So this trivia night event is going to go right into our programming fund. So we're already gearing up for a great summer. And looking ahead to the fall, of course, the fall will be in that new building. But for this summer, as usual, our 8th graders who are just now finishing 8th grade get to rise up and become a Pro Deo teen. As soon as school is out, we'll have an open house for them.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about, for people who don't know, what are all, you mentioned some of the things, but what services, what is Pro Deo doing for the youth in our Lee Summit community?
So Pro Deo provides that safe place, as I said, but it's really more about the relationships that are built at Pro Deo. You know, what gets them through the door is, hey, we've got snacks, right? We've got a hot meal. We've got all kinds of fun activities. But truly, once they're through the door, part of our check-in system is for them to give us some feedback right away. Like, how was your day? Do you need to talk with somebody today? Right? And so in which staff member would you like to talk to? And those are just some ways that kids can very privately say, I had a horrible day. This is not a good day, and I would really benefit from talking with an adult right now. So, you know, kids, when they're at school, they carry a lot of that stress with them. It doesn't go away when the school day's over, right? Maybe something happened at home, something happened at school. And so that's what I love about Pro Deo is right then, right there, they can get access to a caring adult. And, you know, that's huge. I don't know about you guys. Can you guys think back in your lives? I always say, who was that one caring adult that made a pivotal moment for you? I'm sorry, I'm turning the questions around.
No, that's fine. Although there's a fee for flipping the script on me.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm going to let Kent answer first.
Oh yeah, I think about the super impactful teacher, right? So for me, mine was my choir director, Mr. Ward. He was the one that treated you like a person, that pulled you aside and said, "Hey, you seem off. Everything okay?" And not everybody's lucky enough to have that person organically in their life, right? Where they're just running into them on a daily basis. So, having a space that's dedicated to that and making sure that everybody that walks through the door has that is that differentiator, right? There's a difference between, addressing mental health issues and the prevention side. And that's where things generally fall short, is on the prevention side. And how do you do that? Just by asking those questions, like Elaine talked about, having people making that, when she says safe space, yes, physically, but also emotionally, mentally, I can tell you guys anything. And that's what I see happening, that just those initial conversations that make an impact, that address things before they become a problem.
I don't think I had that at school. My high school was experience was,
Many people don't, right?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, when I tell people I look back at high school, I existed. I got through it. But I did have a great family community, family friends community. We had a church community that was important to us. And so I had people. I always tell, and I've told this story on this show before, but I had uncles. My father died when I was pretty young, so I didn't have a father figure really growing up. But I had some amazing uncles who kind of stepped in and were those male adult figures for me, and a couple of family friends as well. But that's what I had that were special.
That's awesome.
I think, to me.
So imagine just having a place right here in Lee Summit that is, the doors are open 5 days a week, and people, these teenagers can come in. And, some may not need any help at all. They're just fine. They're just living life, right? But others, we're there. We're that safety net, if you will, for them, that let's prevent them from going home and making poor decisions about harm to themselves or harm to others. And instead, let's just talk about it. Like, feel safe that you can talk about whatever kind of day you had at school or at home, and there's a solution for it. So anyway, I love that about what we do at Pro Deo.
Well, I like what you just said there. Some kids, they don't need it. But I think even if you don't, air quotes, need, knowing that it's there.
That's right.
If you do, like, to have that kind of cliched phrase now, but that safe space, that place where there is someone for you, just to know it's there can mean a lot.
And to that point, it doesn't always have to be that heavy, right?
Right.
Like, some people are like, this is where my friends go, and I like to hang out with my friends after school, and we can't go hang out at somebody's house after school. We go hang out here. Or I'm learning how to cook, and I didn't know how to cook, so that's why I show up. Or not everybody, it's not that everybody that walks through the door is in crisis mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's
You're right.
What does this person need, and how can we meet them where they are and fulfill that need for them?
Yeah, I think that, and the other thing that you brought up was about finding your group,
Your people.
Sure,
right.
your people. I mean, we all remember,
Yeah.
and even watch kids and stuff now. And, like, your teenage years is so cliquey.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, right, and if you don't have that group, it's hard.
Yeah.
And just to find that group, and to even just to have some people around that you feel comfortable with and you want to spend time with. So if you're going to Pro Deo because that's where my people are,
Yes.
that's
right.
the reason.
Well,
Absolutely.
and I'll tell you this too, fun little story. So sometimes the kids will, we have a good connection with the foster care system. So let's just take this junior that was lifted out of Sedalia, Missouri, dropped into Lee Summit to live with relatives. And here she is, a junior, just really a traumatic life. And she found Pro Deo, and we began to learn about her and learn that she was a phenomenal artist. Oh my gosh, she could really draw. And so as the summer went along and we really got to know her better, we would say, when you go to Lee Summit High School, you should check out the art program there and make sure you get art on your schedule. And then she got into IB art, which is like really high up there. And she found her friends, and we never saw her Pro Deo again.
Well, but here's what you needed.
Yeah.
And it's different than what the person you were sitting next to needed.
That's
and
right.
Maybe they're there all 4 years, and maybe somebody comes 3 times, and that's what I needed. I needed somebody to just tell me, hey, you might consider doing this, or talking to this person, or making that connection. And that was what changed everything. And you never know.
Yeah, it's a success either way, right?
Sure.
Like that is the beauty of Pro Deo. It's not you have to attend. You attend because you want to. Now I can tell you, there's been a few parents are like, we don't know what to do with this teenager. Here, you take them, right?
My mom totally never said that. Never.
And we always try our best, but we work alongside the parent or the parental figure every step of the way if we can. That is the ultimate goal, is to go, we're right there with the parent who's struggling on how do they talk to their teenager. And we don't have all the answers, but isn't it great as a parent to know you have somebody else who's rooting for your kid to make it and succeed? And so, yeah, pretty cool.
That's
awesome.
You know how it is. I mean, all 3 of us here have had kids, and you may be trying as hard as you can as a parent and just getting nothing from them. Somebody else comes along and they just open up to this other person because it doesn't matter. They don't have to go home with this person at the end of the day and wake up in their house and all that. So they'll tell them everything,
Right?
Because there's no consequence. I get to clock out when I'm done with this conversation and leave, and I just dropped everything, that I feel so much better about it. And then then they go home and their parent says, "How was your day?" And they go, "Fine," and go to bed. Right?
It was okay.
It's okay.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our jealousy as parents rages at those things, but it's so important for them to have that person that's not us.
Yes.
Yeah. Your kids ever have friends come over and all you do is say, "Hey, how's it going?" And then their friend talks to you for 20 minutes.
Right.
And then again, they go home and yeah, what do you need from me? Nothing. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to my room.
I love teenagers. It's the only age group I've ever worked with, you guys. I just always been that high school kid. I did a couple of stints in middle school, but for the most part, I think high school kids, their energy and how their brain is forming and changing so much, it's just really cool to be around them. They're spontaneous. They're also moody, but as Ken said, you're just trust that there's somebody out there who loves your kid or leans into your kid as much as you do, right? We do anything for our kids, but there are a lot of situations in a lot of households where that's not the case, as we know. So we try to lean in a little extra hard to those kids who just say, "Hey, I need support."
I could never be a teacher. I know that. I know my limitations. A, I'm not smart enough. B, I don't have that level of patience
Don't sell yourself
that
short.
teachers have. But I will say that the interactions I've had with some of our youth doing, we've done the teen podcast project, I can relate, for several years. And it's just, you feel so good. Like they bring a different energy, they bring different attitudes and perspectives. And usually at the end, it's kind of, and Kent, one of yours, was involved for a while. I always say it's kind of funny. I always feel like, you know what? We can give them the keys. It's okay.
Yeah, they say the kids are okay.
I think it makes it takes away that instinct that we have as older people to say, "Oh, the next generation they're not as good as us. They're not ready," and I think it takes that instinct away and to be like, yeah.
I mean, I'll say, watching my kids grow up, being around their friends, being around the kids at Pro Deo, the students at Pro Deo, there are so many things, yes, as I'm mid 40s, and yes, I see the things, these kids, but then they just do things that absolutely shock you. And I look at them and I go, wow, man, look at you standing up for what you believe in. Look at you speaking out, even when there's social risk for standing up for what you believe in. I never would have done that. Like I was so worried about what everybody else thought. I wouldn't have corrected somebody on using a term that's offensive or, promoting harmful stereotypes. I just kind of kept my head down. And then I see some of these kids standing up for this stuff. Man, not only are we going to be okay, you're going to do better than we did.
Yeah.
That's what
I was
see.
not a confident teenager.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form. And even whether it's standing up for beliefs, standing up to other people, even just having to be able to stand up and have confidence in yourself for skills
to talk to
do
an
things.
adult,
man.
right? Sometimes.
I mean, yeah. Or I'm gonna say I'm gonna point out your kid again, Coy, or Kent, your son, Coy.
Yeah.
That kid's a photographer.
Yeah.
He's got some skills and some talent there. So I mean, I never even would have had the confidence to try those things.
Or where would you have found it if you wanted to? And that's sort of the, where as Elaine alluded to, we're building our first building right now,
Right.
for Pro Deo, with maker spaces and places for kids to get to try these things. I wouldn't have even known anybody that had a good camera that wasn't a 35 millimeter or a 110 camera, if I wanted to try that. And so, you just have to hope that you run into somebody that unlocks that for you.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's what we're here for, is to here's some opportunities that you don't have currently. What is there something here that connects with you that changes the trajectory of your life or just your day?
Yeah.
I love that. I love
I
that.
want to tell you about practicing kindness. So sometimes I get high school kids who will email me, call me, whatever, and they'll say, well, I just want to volunteer at Pro Deo. I'm a senior and I've got my own friends or whatever, and they just want to volunteer. And I said, well, why don't you just register to be a Pro Deo teen, and then you can practice kindness all the time. Just kindness to people who are different from you. And I tell you, that's the best kind of volunteering you could ever be, is I'm going to be a volunteer friend to kids who don't have a friend. Maybe they sit by themselves at lunch, or I don't know. So I see this all the time. So just one of the things you asked, Nick, right up, what do we do at Pro Deo? Besides 5 days a week, we also have 3 vans. 15 passenger vans, and we have volunteer drivers, or we have our staff who go pick up at the schools. And then we load those vans up with the students, and we take them different places in the area. And then at the end of the night, in order to make sure that they have a way to get home, if a parent can come get them, great. If not, we take them home. So we have this whole city divided into three maps, and each person takes a different route on the side of the city, and that's how we get them home. So then, just this week, a young man came in who's a Pro Deo teen, and he's asking for the keys to the van. I'm sitting in the office, and I said, oh, the keys to the vans, and he said, yeah, I'm going to clean them. I said, oh my gosh, he just did that out of his own kindness. He's like, they're filthy, they're full of trash or whatever. And so, I don't know, I just think practicing kindness, we're setting this next generation up to continue to do that in their adult life, and I think that's a great start.
I love those stories, and that makes me want to go ask those teens that said, oh, can I volunteer? Can I do something? Can I go clean? Ask them after. I bet they all got something out of it that they didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Made a new friend, found a new skill, a new passion. Something came out of that.
Right.
That they didn't expect to happen. Well, let's switch gears a little bit now. Let's talk about Twisted Trivia. Listen, this is a fun way to pick all of our pockets so that we can support you. And I say that in a way of love, because look, if we can all figure out a way to part with a few dollars and help out an awesome local nonprofit, we're all going to do it. That's one of the cool things about this town.
Yes.
One of the reasons why I came back while we've stayed is you show a need, you show the passion, people will show up and they will support. But let's talk about Twisted Trivia. It's March 21st, correct?
Yes.
That's right.
At the Farmers Market building in downtown on Green Street.
Yeah, so a couple of changes this year for those that are familiar with the event. The 2 big changes are moving it from Friday evening until Saturday. And that was a barrier for some people, being 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock on a Friday, got to get home, get the kids fed, all that kind of stuff. Moving it to Saturday, I think, frees a lot of people up. The second thing is moving from our prior location to the Green Street Market, which is gorgeous if you haven't been in there. Beautiful AV setup with screens all around the perimeter of the building. So, great sight lines, nice sound system. We'll have a bar available. So a couple of things have changed there, but the event as it was has not changed much. I know that you've attended in the past. I was an attendee for many years, and it was a blast. I mean, you get 8 people together at a table, and everybody has so much fun, and it's different. It's not one of those just sit and raise your paddle to bid on stuff, or so. It's interactive. It's fun. It's not just we're not reading Trivial Pursuit questions. This is fun trivia.
Although that might be a fun section.
Right.
Trivial Pursuit from like 1987.
Yeah. It's all going to be the wild card category. Just off the wall things. No, it's so we're very excited. Last year, Dave Abishon started this event. I think 11 years ago, something like that. He ran this for many years, was a one-person show, started bringing in some help. Last year he asked, hey, would you mind helping me with this year with, the idea to turn it over. He's still helping out this year. I think he'll probably always stay involved to some degree. He really loves it, but the format of the evening is 3 rounds of trivia, 15 questions. There's a category, so the first question will be the same category in each round, the second, etc. But what makes things a little bit different, one is, we try to make it very approachable and fun for everybody, give you a couple of different ways to get to the answer, not some strange arcane trivia.
It is
knowledge.
not an intimidating trivia.
No, it's not a, who was vice president in 1824, nothing like that. Right. So, but what's really interesting is the best trivia team may or may not win. The people that got the most questions. We've got games of chance, and
actually,
that's he says with salt in his voice.
Yes.
We've got these games of chance in between that give an opportunity for the teams that maybe missed a couple of questions to catch up and get some extra points for their round. So it's a combination of these games of chance and trivia knowledge. And so that's sort of the idea, is there's something for everybody.
I'm not going to call anyone out by name, Ron. My favorite part of the Twisted Trivia, and I did say it with a little bit of salt, but the reason I love the fact that you might win all, get all the questions right, but still lose the game because of the games of chance part. A member of our team is exceptionally competitive. And I think there were 3 or 4 years in a row that we scored the highest on the trivia, but did not do well in the games of chance. And so we finished second. And he held a grudge all year long.
Oh, no.
And it was so entertaining for me. I get such joy out of the fact that we didn't win.
Well, I'll tell you, he just stopped talking to me. I stopped getting invites to stuff, and he spits on the ground in front of me when he walks by.
I heard he was paying Pro Deo teens to do things to your house. I don't know. I joke, Elaine.
There are some.
I joke, Elaine.
Right? No, there are some people who are like, it's not your straight up trivia, but that's what makes it
so fun. Seriously, I do love, and I find it, because I'm a little bit mean, but I do find it entertaining and fun to watch the people's faces when they realize, oh, it doesn't matter how well we did in the being smart part, right?
Yes, that's right.
Because you have these other games, and I think it's fun, and the groups there always have a great time.
No joke. There are a couple of teams that are consistently in the bottom quarter every single time, and they show up again the next year. And not only that, but they show up and they have a theme for their table. They're all dressed up the same. They decorate their table. They bring food. They bring snacks, which are all allowed. And there's even a competition for the best decorated table.
Yes.
They show up and they do that, and they are laughing and having a blast. And then, when their name gets revealed as second from the bottom, they're just laughing and pointing at each other and having a great time, not winning.
Right.
So to our mutual friend, you can have fun and not win.
And it's all for a good cause. That's what when we're coming around saying, hey, we've got some raffle tickets, and hey, we've got, all kinds of extra things that they can do. The mulligans, they can pay like $20 for mulligans for those questions that you may not know the answer to, just slap that mulligan down.
There
of
you
course,
go.
it's for a fee because this is a fundraiser, right?
And to be fair to our friend,
Yes.
he does love the event as well. And he loves
Absolutely.
supporting.
Well, as long as he's
the
coming
cause.
this year, right?
He has agreed.
Okay.
So our table will be back.
All right.
It was
All right.
funny. All but one member of our team last year was traveling
Oh,
on
wow.
that weekend.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
none of us got to go, and it's been a thing that we've all said, we kind of missed it.
Yeah, good. I'm so glad. I'm glad to see people excited about it. I mean, 12 years, it isn't new, but for people out there listening who say, I don't even know, what Pro Deo is. I don't know what Twisted Trivia is. This is one night out of your...
She's so happy and passionate. She's punching the
I
microphone.
know, me, I talk with my hands, I'm sorry. One night of fun, but it is going to do a lifetime. It's going to make a lifetime of difference for these teens that we serve at Pro Deo. So just remember that. Go look out on our website and sign up.
And if you want an easy way, I'll say this just as an outsider a little bit. You want an easy way to learn about Pro Deo and kind of a fun, quick way? Hit an event like this because you're going to learn that there's always some videos with some of the teens,
Yes.
giving their stories a little bit or introducing a question or all the ways. I don't know what you're doing with them this year, but you're always going to do that. And your staff is on hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun. They'll tell you when you break the rules.
Yes. No phones allowed. This is a no phones allowed. I mean, no phones out on the
Which
table.
really, can we just say how nice it is to have one night a year when we all willingly put our phones in our pockets?
Absolutely. And it's so interesting. I mean, like, you watch people walk through the door, and then if you watch as their demeanor changes throughout the night when they're having genuine connection with the people sitting at their table or laughing with the people at the table next to them and everything, and things just, the vibe changes quickly. And to your point, there's not a whole lot of places you go where somebody says, everybody put your phones away. Phones aren't allowed. People are going to give you the stink eye if you pull your phone out. Right. And then what happens in that environment is genuine connection and letting go and having fun.
Yeah.
And it's when you break it down, 8 people, a table, Kent, is two, I think it was for a deluxe table, which means you get the mulligans and stuff. It's like, I think.
Yeah, listen, I mean, if you want a table of 8, you get in for $250. As we mentioned, there's these games of chance. Those are an extra fee. There's also 1 mulligan per round that your team can use. So if you want all of that stuff included, because trust me, once you get there, you're going to want it anyway.
You're going to buy it anyway.
Yeah. So if you want to remove the hassle, a table of 8 for $400 for a deluxe package, and then the highest end is our VIP package, and it's all the other stuff that we talked about, as well as preferred seating close to the stage, or close to a screen, close to the restrooms.
I believe
you
we
get
were told
the,
we can't
you
sit
get the
close to
categories
stage.
the day before. Isn't that
That's
right,
the
Kent?
other thing. Yeah, you
That's
get
huge.
an email with the names of the categories the day before the event. So people think they're going to go study up on categories.
And one other thing, we added this last year, and I absolutely love it. Are you guys music?
Oh.
Are you music buffs? Right? Are you a music buff?
A little bit.
Tell them what they can do now.
Yeah. So last year we started a new thing where at the at the midpoint of the round we auction off our control of the Pro Deo Youth Center jukebox, and you get to pick 2 or 3 songs. And it's a blast to watch people, they're bidding against each other. And you ask, okay, well, what, you're in the lead right now. What kind of music are you going to play? Oh, country music. And then suddenly there's another bid that's like, no, I'm bidding to not listen to country music, And, we just thought we were playing music between rounds anyway, just as a just a little transition, a little background noise. Well, why don't you get to choose the music? You have fun. People up and dancing and singing and having a blast. So there's lots of opportunities to get involved in whatever it is that excites you.
I love it.
It is good. It's so fun.
Well, this sounds fun again. Give me the details one more time, Kent. When is this? How can they go get buy their tables, buy their tickets?
Yep, absolutely. So it's Saturday, March 21st, 7 p.m. So 7, and it'll be wrapped up by 9:30-ish or so in the middle of downtown at Green Street Market. So go out with your team ahead of time and have some appetizers. go out afterwards and make a whole night of it if you want. Just walk right out the door and into some of our finest establishments in downtown Lee Summit. You can go to prodeoyouthcenter.org/events. So it's just prodeoyouthcenter.org/events, and you can sign up right there. We've had a cap in the past of tables. With this new venue, I don't know that it would be possible to reach it. The place seats a ton of people. That's a good problem.
That's a great problem to have.
So whereas in the past, we have sold out of tables, there's an opportunity for those of us that tend to be a little bit more procrastinators. So what I didn't talk about was the prizes. First place, $500. Second place, $300. Third place, $200. And this year we're paying out fourth place for $100. So get on there, take a look. I can promise you, you and your friends are going to have a great time. We have tables that are just a bunch of coworkers. This is their opportunity to do something together that they don't generally do.
Team building, right? Yeah.
Yep. There are classmates that get together. There are sports teams. They get some of the parents from the youth soccer team all together. That this is a chance for us to do something that's not sitting out in the freezing cold in March, watching
the
your
giant
kids,
windmill that is Legacy Park.
That's right. Where NASA tests new aircraft.
Yes. The nice thing about this too is grab your table now. You don't have to know who all 8 of your friends are at the table. So at least you got your table, and as the registrations come in, that's where your seat will be, unless you choose to pay a little extra to get the VIP. Then you automatically get preferential seating. But you can grab your table now and then find your 8 friends over the next month or so.
I think we were actually told our table has to be near the back or something. I don't know. There was somebody complained, I think.
Could be. Did you have one of those giant centerpieces? Some people go really all out on table decorations.
One year we had the ping pong ball shooters.
Oh, I like that. Our good friends from Budget Blinds always do a great table.
Yes.
A great table decoration.
Lego a few years ago.
That's right.
That was fun. I had this question, and this is probably not fair of me to ask out of the blue, but I did get this question a couple times over the last couple of years. Can people buy a ticket and be assigned to a table? Almost like when you go golfing and you need a fourth?
Yeah, we tried that a couple of times, didn't we, Ken? And it just didn't work because you ended up with people who didn't know each other. And so it was kind of random. They may not have even ever got to 8. So we just don't sell individual tickets. But what we do is somebody says, hey, I'd like to go and help, but I don't have my 8 friends. I say, come and volunteer. And you're still in there in the room. You get to hear all the questions, but you serve as a table host. So we need about 30 volunteers for this event too. So.
Yeah, so you get to experience all the fun, get to hear all of the questions and the fun music and the movie clips. We try to make it an extremely interactive event. So volunteering is a great way to get in the door and still have a lot of fun for the evening.
That's right.
I think the table hosts are fun. We always have a good time.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and it's the same people every year. I mean, this may be the only event that they volunteer at this year. Some people, they show up for everything and volunteer, and some people have such fun just being a volunteer that you don't see them again for the next year, and they're there.
Which I always say is one of the greatest pitches we can do for our nonprofits around is talk about how much fun you can have and finding something you're passionate about. And that is, maybe that's the event you go to every year and you volunteer your time or your money or whatever, but you found something that connects to you. Mm-hmm. And I think there are those groups all around town.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I mean, to that point, that's how I got involved with Pro Deo. I spent, in my childhood, I wasn't really involved in my community. Yes, high school, but then after that, it was about it. Young adulthood, it was busy and your career and young kids and things like that. And at some point, I reached out to a friend and said, I want to get involved in the community. I want to find a way to give back. I have more free time now. And they suggested Pro Deo, and I was not familiar with Pro Deo at all. And then I got in the door and I went, holy cow, how did I not know about this? And that's been, I don't know, how long have you been with Pro Deo, Elaine?
This is
okay, so
about
7
around
for
to
me
be 8
then.
years. 7? Okay.
7.5,
Yes.
something like that. Yeah. Yeah, and I just keep coming back, but it just wasn't even on my radar until I showed up. Right?
That's awesome. I think that's a challenge to everybody to do a little voluntelling. Find your friend that needs to get involved and volunteer them where to go.
That's
Yeah, you got it.
You won't be disappointed. Not with this event, not with any of our interactions. We have amazing volunteers, but the ones that really are in there to do this hard work with making a fun night, we couldn't do it without the table host. So every volunteer is very valuable to this event being successful.
Awesome. All right, one more time. Give me the dates and the time.
Yep, Saturday, March 21st at 7 p.m., Green Street Market in downtown Lee Summit. Go to prodeoyouthcenter.org/events. prodeoyouthcenter.org/events.
I will see everyone there. I would love to see that room filled.
Let's fill it.
Let's fill it.
Kent, Elaine, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good
Thank
luck
you,
at
Nick.
the event. We'll see you there.
All right, thanks, Nick.
That'll wrap us up for this episode. We'll talk to everybody next time.